And what else have we got? Merck's in the news, GameStop, AI software. So basically, the one common theme I can see is tech and AI doing well. Now, if you were looking to make an investment on the AI side of things, trying to take advantage of tech stocks moving higher, obviously as a futures trader, I'm going to look over at the Nasdaq futures. But what ETF would you guys be looking at? We'll keep it to the broad base ETFs. We'll leave the specialty ones on the side a little bit. But are you looking at the SPY, the QQQ, or the Diamond? All this focus on technology. Which one of those ETFs, SPY, QQQ, Diamond, or even IWM, which is the Russell 2000, which one of those are you going to be looking at? It's kind of a rhetorical question. XLK, maybe, but I wanted to keep it to the main group. So my answer would be QQQ. I think the QQQ has been kind of an outperformer. It has been doing a great job. It is backing up a little bit from where it was this morning, but the QQQ has had some pretty good performances. Opened the month at 561.31. You're currently at 581, right? So that's pretty well. TQQQ, yeah, it is intended to be a correlation to the QQQ. So if you're following along with the TQQQ, I know Tom talked about that in Train and Trade yesterday. That is experiencing the same type of movement. Now the QQQ opened the week at 578.37, so at 581.73, where they're currently trading, it's just okay. But when they opened this morning after that PPI news, after the news out of Oracle, 583.77, the 14-day high, and take that back from the week open at 578. More importantly, the month open at 561.31, and this has been a market that has really outperformed, outshined, and we see it maybe coming off just a little bit as we move throughout this trading day. Basically, take the information, put it all together, and get ready for the next opportunity, which likely will be the CPI news tomorrow morning. And if CPI is anything like PPI, it's really going to be, I think, a boost for the market. Now, you need to remember that when we're talking about CPI and PPI, generally speaking, you see something in the PPI and then you see if it flows through to the CPI. So oftentimes the CPI might be showing the developments a little bit later than the PPI, and we'll see if that's going to be the case tomorrow morning. So we got a heck of a day in front of us. I can tell you it's a beautiful day where I am up in Birmingham. And where are you guys logging in from? Got a nice little crowd forming. Just about 3 minutes to go until we start the trade and trade session, scheduled for 1 p.m. Eastern today. And I'm trying to look around at other news that might be out there, economic news. What have we got? S&P 500 up on. Basically, I think that the idea of a rate cut coming up next week was already cooked in, but the PPI, with the way it came out, certainly did not do anything to question that, though I don't know if it could have done anything, but maybe easing people's minds a little bit. And of course, that big move in Oracle translating through into the NASDAQ stocks, the tech sector as a whole. NVIDIA at 177.82 right now. And the one thing about NVIDIA that I'm going to look at and say, okay, that's pretty amazing. Where did they, look back, where did they open the month? Where did they open the week? NVIDIA on the 2nd of September, which was the open of the month, was at 172.40. So at 177, they're above that open of the month. But then you come in and you look at the open of the week, which was at 167.25. So this is a significant climb in NVIDIA. This is a high of the month being set. We actually set a high of the month yesterday and carried through today, 179.29. Now, they still have a little bit of work to get up to the high of the quarter, which was actually set on the last day of July at 185.22. So we've got not only upward movement, but also upward
Testing one,
target.
2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, Tom, we got you.
Chuck, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Pretty good, Chuck. Pretty good. I was just sitting here. I just got off the phone, made some. I added the. Genesis is so valuable. I added the E-mini and the SPX here because I wanted to use it and show people how to use Genesis for that. It's pretty cool. But I added those to the Genesis algo, so it ought to be pretty interesting tomorrow when that dials in. Chuck, we came down to 39. I had 37 as support, and it held. And looks like if you look at a bigger chart of the E-mini, that was just a normal correction. If you take the high and low, what is it? The low was, let me look at it today.
26.75 today, so high of 65 quarter.
Yeah. That's 40, about 20. About 45 is about the midpoint area, and that's right where we're trading.
Yes, it is. And I'll tell you what, Tom, earlier this week you were stressing the tech sector, the QQQ, the TQQQ, and Oracle helping out a lot, giving a nice little boost in there. Big move up in the tech sector this morning.
Yeah, I told people, I said probably the worst trade I made was getting out of Oracle. Sometimes when you're trying to protect yourself, you get out and you leave. Was the stock risen about 35, 40%?
Yeah, I think at one point it was up 44% this morning.
Yeah.
But also let's not turn our backs on the staples, NVIDIA and AMD.
Yeah, NVIDIA was a good call because I didn't take it to the short side, and now I went long again, and NVIDIA is looking good, 177 there. Mm-hmm. Reddit, I need to somehow make Reddit stay in my scan. That stock is a heck of a trading stock. We're killing it on the TQQ. The TQQ, we did a put spread, I think, one day this week, and man, we're going to get to keep all that money. And, gold paid us. I'm just looking at different things out there. It's sort of interesting. That KGC I keep telling everybody about, it just keeps nudging itself higher, $22.83.
And of course, Tom, the big news this morning, PPI, much better than expected.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. I wanted to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so last time, I guess the Bureau of Labor Statistics came out with high readings, right?
Yes.
And then they fired a bunch of the people, and they come out today with better readings. Makes you wonder about the numbers we've been getting, all these years.
Well, yeah, it does, and I sort of talked about that a little bit with the group who was in here earlier as we were prepping. I think one of the things is you got to see what CPI looks like tomorrow, because it almost looks like when you're looking at PPI, last month was an anomaly.
Yeah.
Right, and so if you take last month out, you've got a nice smooth trend. Well, does CPI look the same tomorrow? That's the big question, because if it does, then I think we can confidently say that last month was an anomaly. So the question is absolutely there. I'm glad you asked it. But I don't think we actually have the answer quite yet, though I'm
Well, I
leaning
think
towards it.
what I was going to tell you, Chuck, is pretty interesting. I think that one thing's coming out of all these numbers things is bonds are going higher, okay? And that TLT trade that I said I'm gonna do once a month, to take advantage of it, needs to be it pays you. It's a little slow, but it's sort of nice to watch it, when it's developing like it's doing, And
Yeah,
anyway,
the bond market has definitely been interesting today. We opened at 116.29 in the 30-year. We had dropped down to 116.22, but we're now up at 117.22. So yeah, taking the information in stride.
you're saying bonds. I'm doing this week in futures, Chuck. I taught him my old utility trade. I'm getting ready to do another one. That thing is paying for the time of being here. I mean, it's unbelievable that utility trade playing that trend. Pretty simple. Did it Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday. Now I'm doing it on Wednesday. So it's a heck of a trade. But
Yeah, always good to know those ETFs like the TLT that you mentioned.
right.
Always good to know where to go on that.
Well, this is a bond futures trade that I taught in Monday night. Chuck, you remember the old utility trade I used to teach here in the futures class? That I taught the current group of people that, and anyway.
Yeah. Now, Philip asked an interesting question, a little bit more about bonds as they relate to inflation. The question: if inflation goes down, bonds go up? Question mark.
Yeah.
How does that relate? Bond prices versus rates. We're expecting rates to be cut. We're seeing bond prices go up. Is that the normal relationship you look for?
Yeah, well, that plus the fact that you're in an interest rate easing cycle, and you got to think about it's going to get stronger to the easing side over the next 6 to 9 months, and so you're looking at lower interest rates, which makes the housing market get a little bit of boost and things like that.
Okay, so lower rate, higher price, essentially.
Yeah. Hello, Carl Rod. How you doing? Oh, Carl Rod's a great student. Chuck, we've been doing this a long time, and we've met some really, really nice people. You know.
Yeah. Well, we met a lot of people, and some of them have been really nice. Yes.
Yeah, I like the way you said that, Chuck. We've met a lot of people. Let's get into it, folks. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Welcome to our training trades. It's a little later today, in my opinion. Like I said, every day that you meet with me, market's going higher. It just goes down about 3 out of every 10 days. And I'll show you how and teach you how to do that. I'm the founder and head trader at DTI. I've been doing it a long time, like doing what I do, and don't see any reason to quit doing what I do. I've been doing it for 40 plus years, and I think I learned something, all the time. I usually, I've been asked this question a lot traveling around the country and the world. Tom, how accurate are you? Well, I usually say about 4 out of 5 times. Well, I had Jonathan go do these numbers since May. I'm 90% accurate. And I attribute it to the fact I'm a lot more disciplined now than maybe I've been in my career, meaning that I'm really focused on being disciplined and waiting for the trades to set up. Okay. And I think that's showing up in these numbers, being at 90% accurate. Well, what does that mean, though, Chuck? Go back. What does that mean? That means if I give you a stock idea right now, you got a 9 out of 10 chance that we might have the opportunity to turn those dollars into bigger dollars. That's what it means. That's important.
Not just nine out of 10, Tom, but 162 out of 180. Is it?
Yeah, that's what it is. 180 trades. I'd say that's statistically good. Okay. Yeah, I think that's right. September's off to a great start, 6 winners, 100% accuracy. Keep in mind that I'm averaging, just to let you know how a typical month goes, I average around 45 trade opportunities a month over those since May. So that sort of tells you we're going to get pretty active pretty quick here. Anyway, just a little number or two to do some thinking with. My accuracy. What do I attribute my accuracy to market timing? If I ask this question, everybody says, Tom, you're always on top of things. Well, I follow the S&P futures, and that accuracy is being able to use technology to take advantage of all the stuff coming at you. Can't keep up with everything that comes at you. I get so many emails that keeping up with them would be a full-time job. I just don't do it. And so what we do is we use the technology. You got to use technology in this day of trading. This is something I'm very adamant about. I have met some people that have put money out there with no thought about it going bad or anything like that. I love to have educated traders. I love to keep the game of trading simple and straightforward. You know where I stand. You know what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm basically telling you 7 out of 10 days, I'm going to be a buyer in this market because that's what the odds tell me to do. If it changes, I'll let you know. This book right here tells you a lot about what I would say my career. But the neat thing about this book, it's got a lot of great setups and trainings inside here, lessons that I've learned. And, you know, this book's in 11 different languages. So people not only here in the United States think it's a great book, people around the world think it's a great. And I can say that because I didn't write it. My cousin wrote it. She did a fantastic job. Oh, Patsy. Remember Patsy, Chuck? Now the retirement center is getting hot. This is join in here, and this is what we're going to do. If you join this Friday at 2, we'll have a flash meeting. I'm showing people how to allocate retirement money in a Tasty Trade account, and you know, just showing them how I do it. Might not be the best you'll ever find, but it'll be in the top group if you follow what I teach you. Totally free. All you gotta do is click that thing, join. Get you a Tasty Trade account, and then that way, when we're using the platform to teach, you'll have the same one we're using to show the retirement account activity. They have a product called The Works, lets you trade futures, lets you trade options and stocks inside your IRA. Now, what's happening? Not next week, week after next, we go back with a small class right here in Ponte Vedra Beach. I think the small class is going to get stronger as the word spreads, I guess, because nothing like being face to face. Nothing like it. You can accomplish so much more. I've included a year in my Futures First education. You might say it's a free scholarship if you join, because that's inside your commitment to come down here and learn face to face. And you can buy it outright if you want to, but I think if you come in person, I can teach you a lot in 2 days. So much, in fact, we've turned people's, I guess, they're thinking around by being face to face like that. Got one September 22nd. Now, here's our foundation stocks. I can't wait for John to update it, because this is going to be where our ideas come from. The first thing you want to focus on is the monthly open. If you want a number, if you think the market is going to sell off, don't think that unless it closes below 64.78. 60, that'd be your warning sign there. Circle that and take it away, Jonathan. I got crude still looking weak, and got a lot of stocks in the green. A lot of opportunities.
Stocks. Yeah, and most notably today we have S&P and the NASDAQ long. That's distinction has been that the Nasdaq's been above its 3-day high, but the S&P hasn't. Well, today they're both playing along. That's a good sign. And Tom mentioned crude short. Once it gets below 62.72, be ready for another leg down, perhaps. 62.72 is the 3-day low for September. There's gold long. Bonds have been long above 115. That's been Tom's number all year. It happens to be the 3-day high this month.
And Jonathan, I had a strategy, and I think this is good to point out. I said, folks, once bonds go above 115, we're going to take TLT, and as long as we're in this interest easing cycle, I'm going to show people how to make money off this. So not only do you have the number, I said I'd start doing it. We're in our second trade right now, and I will do one every month in TLT, because at the end of the journey, it's going to make you a lot of money by learning about bonds and interest rates. In fact, Monday night, I taught people in the short term how to use the long bond futures to do a utility trade. For example, anybody here not like a high utility bill they pay at their house? Drives me crazy to have one of those things. So the good news is, this is the good news. Good news, I got a way you can fund your utilities if you learn my utility trade. That's the good news. So who would like to learn that? You ought to get involved.
And you can get involved, Tom, and everybody. I think the link is dtitrader.com/futures.
Yeah,
And
every Monday night.
it is every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Not only that, bond futures, Tom, on Tuesday, or no, excuse me, I guess it was on Monday of this week, right inside Train and Trade, you issued for the TNT program, but issued inside Train and Trade a TLT put spread. So everybody had a chance that was here on Monday to take that TLT trade. It's not quite at our target yet, but it's working in the right direction. Doing good.
I mean, let me ask you a question. You hear what Jonathan said? By coming to Train and Trade, you're getting paid to be here.
Yep, always a big plus. Get some great education and some great trades from Tom.
And NVIDIA.
Looking good.
I had two things this month I'll talk about. Number one, I had Oracle long, got out of it before the big move. That was a mistake. But NVIDIA flashed a minor sell signal. I didn't take it because I thought it would work its way out of it. Notice how it got above 172. I started telling people to buy it. Today, Jonathan hit 178. That's knowing these numbers. That's the importance of these numbers. NVIDIA long.
Yeah, and here it is on the spreadsheet right here.
Yeah, right there.
177.90 current price as of just a few minutes ago.
And if you like dividends, I had a discussion with a student this morning. If you like dividends, I like NVDW, because that is going to pay you about 50 cents a week while you're waiting for NVIDIA to go up. If you like dividends.
And those dividend stocks, including NVDW, are at the bottom of this spreadsheet. Now, the spreadsheet is found on slide number 15 of today's presentation, which I'm going to post once again into the chat for everybody.
John, you ought to add Palantir to that list too when you get time. Palantir PLTW.
PLTW is not on there? Okay, PLTW.
Yep.
At the very bottom, I'll add it.
Okay.
And of course, we've got Palantir stock a little bit further up. There it is, highlighted.
Yeah, I actually own that stock for a dividend payer also, PLTW.
Let's go down to the dividend one. Let's see if we can update this live here so I don't forget about it. PLTW opened the month at a price of 41.12. It's currently trading at 46.13. Now the 3-day high, let's make sure I get this right. The high from the 3 days was 44.63, so we got above that today. And the low for the 3 days is also no, not, excuse me, not the low for the month, but the low for the 3 days is 40.82. 40.82.
Yeah, I have both those stocks in my IRA.
So it looks like twice this month they've kind of tried to test that low from last night, last month of 39.03. Now they've rejected the bears and the bulls are taking over, it looks like.
Joanne, you can go to yieldmax.com, read all about it. These are weekly dividend payers. If you go to Roundtree Investments, that's where you'll find TSLW and PLTW.
A Roundtree. Let me type that into the chat. Roundtree.
Investments.
Is it Roundtree?
Roundtree Investments.
Let's see. Let's just verify that real quick. Yeah, Round Hill Investments is what it is.
Oh, I call it Roundtree.
Yeah. I thought that
I'm thinking of Richard Roundtree, the actor.
I'm just going to post the link here that I have. It takes you to NVDW, but you can check out all their ETFs on that page as well. Okay. Train and trade. That's what we're here for. Now, today's a special time. We started at 1, but tomorrow we'll be back live at 11 a.m. Same for Friday, 11 a.m. As I mentioned a moment ago, all the trades that Tom gives in here, and he will give trades almost, I wouldn't say daily, but certainly every week, multiple every week. They're tracked through the T-Buzz Talk and Trade program, which you can get access to by going to dtitrader.com/TNT. And now we get into today's education, Tom. It's your 3 key elements to enter a trade. So entry, got to have your target, and you got to have your stop, or another way to put it, all bets off, which is not.
And let me tell you why I did this. I like to review this for everybody because this is sort of, you say, well, I'm not doing very well when I buy stocks or sell stocks. If you follow this process right here, then you'll be writing love letters because it works. So let's go through it. Step 1, you must establish a plan of action for the week. Well, I do that every Sunday night, dtitrader.com/YouTube. So go there and watch me on Sunday night. I lay out the whole week for you. I give a lot of good information Sunday night, if you can make it, 8 o'clock. Now, Monday, after the close, I have a weekly newsletter that we do. And what it does, after watching Monday's trading, I take what I said Sunday night and give you a 1-page document that you can use the whole week where you don't forget about all the good things that were said. It's right there on Monday, and then it's followed up on Wednesday when Chuck comes in and reviews what we said to make sure to highlight, the ones that popped and the ones that dropped. This is very valuable to get this on Monday and Wednesday. It's $9.99 for a year. So I would tell you if you get $9.99 worth of value every week. Now, the big picture is how I look at any market any time of day. What is the big picture? Well, it's the E-mini, which 75% of all stocks follow the S&P futures. You'll hear me talking about that all the time. The Dow futures, the NASDAQ futures, the DAX, the German DAX, leading index in Germany, crude futures, which is in everything that we do, gold, which is a real go-to market, especially right now as it's making all-time highs. And then, of course, bond futures, where interest rates on your car are set all the way to your house, or how much you get at the bank if you say, hey, I'd like a CD, or if you go somewhere else, get a treasury bill. And of course, the bonus is silver futures too. Now, if you look at the month, what does it tell you? It tells you this month is bullish, 64.78 is where we open. As long as we're above that number, I'm looking for ways to buy the market. Does everybody understand that point? That's a key point in getting through September. E-mini, right there. Then you got the NASDAQ, which is your high-tech stocks, the Dow big industrials, the DAX, gold, silver. Notice crude is very weak, okay? And the reason it's very weak is because it's going to 45, going lower. That's not the first time you heard me say that. If you listen to me the first time, it's up in the 70s. When I told people this year, that's what I expect. And bonds is that 115 pivot number. Have at it. Make money with bonds. Do I have anybody here that took those trades Monday night on bonds? Goodness gracious. They're handing out money to you on bonds. Learn about it. Educate yourself. Now, I start every day, and I started posting this in my TNT room, also in the futures room too, the money maker. When I came into the day, I said first resistance will be 65.52. Support will be 65.25. It tells me the frame that everything is going to trade. Go look at these numbers and compare it. Look at the high of the TQQ. Look at the high. Look at these stocks. You'll see that Apple, okay, when this was made, when it broke 232, it said Apple's got more downside. If you go look at Apple right now, it's pushing 227 to give you an idea how valuable this is. And I put it out early in the morning to you, right out of my roadmap software. How many people are enjoying? Let me ask that question. How many people enjoyed? I started including this in TNT in the futures, the money maker. Pretty good, but just watching the numbers, right? Okay, perfect. We'll talk about divergence the next time we talk. The first 3 days is the third step. You saw how we get that, opening high, low, and close for those first 3 days. The highest high, that lowest low in those first 3 days sets the frame that you're going to have in September. That's why I'm telling you today, as long as this market's above 64.78, be thinking long. Bullish setup occurs when the stock is above that or an index is above that. I know Wall Street doesn't like this method. You know how I know that? Because it simplifies for you a way to make money without confusion. You can understand this. And the bear setups happen when it goes below. Be long above the frame, be short below it. Pretty simple concept. Each week, Monday's high and Monday's low establishes my trigger numbers that I use on Tuesday. How does that work? Okay, so if I had hypothetically go between 330 and 333, well, if it on Tuesday goes above 333, I'm going to be buying gold. It's breaking out for the week. Does everybody understand that concept? I wanted to say that because I think it helps you get a picture in your mind when you have a stock like that to look at, like gold or any stock. Like NVIDIA, 172.5. That trigger price becomes your entry and you get long. You know where you're wrong. It's simple, but it works so well. Get the confirmation, go with it. It works. In step 5, how to set targets in ABO. I got simple techniques there also. For example, who's the best person in the world to set targets? The option market's the best person. That's a combination of all the great players in the world, and you figure out an at-the-money option, both call and put, very simply, add it to it for resistance, subtract it from that price for support. For the date you want to know. That's what's so beautiful about it. They will tell you if you will listen. And that technique, when you add it to it, gives you your target for that expiration. This feature is right inside my roadmap software, does all the work for you. All you got to do is come up with the ticker, plug it in there, and it will give you. Look at this now. It said that the SPY by September 15th is going to make it to 658.42. What kind of trade could you set up off that if you were bullish? Well, you could buy the SPY, maybe do a debit spread, sell at 658 where your target is, and make the money between now and then, September 15th. That's the way it works. It's a simple concept, but it real paid. You're here to learn how to get paid, right? All right, all bets off. Simply take the 5-day low to get started, then move it up from there as the stock goes in your direction. Is this helping everybody? I'm trying to ask, is this helping everybody what I've laid out here, these simple steps to get on the right side by placing orders? Now, the all bets off number, you should set that on your trading platform to let you know if it hits it, because it will help you start looking a little bit closer at some of these positions you take. Now, like I said, I prefer the 5-day low as a quick method for establishing all bets off. It's all common sense. Move it up as the market moves your way. Maybe go to a 2-day low after it moves your way. Here's some more insights on how to select stocks to trade. First, pick tickers that have daily option expirations. SPY, QQQ, XSP, SPX. How about bi-weekly, GLD, USO, and TLT? What about high volume tickers that have weekly expirations? NVIDIA, Apple, Amazon. These are good stocks to trade. In fact, another insight, taking it down the road, is I try only to trade stocks that have weekly expirations. I let the market tell me, hey, this is good. You never hear me talk about open interest and all that stuff Wall Street gets caught into. I get the right answer when I listen to the market.
Yeah, and Tom, I think I need to update the slide because these are 3 times a week now, right? GLD, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yep.
And you already had SPX in there too. All right, let's take gold and run it through the system. What's the first question I'm asking? What was the 3-day high and low? Well, the 3-day high was 329. And your action should be on the week, is it higher than Monday's high? But in this case, today's open was 335. I'd say you ought to be long gold. So does my foundational system tell you that. You're bullish. There's the Monday high right there, 335.67. Today's open 335.74. So this morning, gold is hovering right at the point. 5-day low is 525. That's where my initial stop would be, or warning would be, as long as it stayed above that. Then I'd get a little bit more sophisticated by taking and looking at the expiration dates and the progress of gold. Think about this. If gold runs through the 12th, and the 12th is Friday, right? It should be into resistance at 345. That's where the target is, 345 this Friday.
Yeah, and just looking at that, we might see this. This is kind of an outlier here. I didn't notice until now. Looks like after hours, the options might have spread out a little bit. So I'd probably utilize these down here. Let's scratch out 345.
Carrod said he shopped around, seen a lot of shiny options, a lot of gurus. He's followed a lot of them. He said, but we're tuned in as good as anybody's ever seen. Thank you, Rod. Now, Jim people know Jim. He's a very active trader, very experienced trader. He's got one simple advice for you. Hey, listen and take the trades. If you like being on the right side of history. Now, we'll have losses, but that's okay. Now, we're going to play Genesis for everybody. We've got a recording here. Do I have any questions about today? They're going to stream Genesis for you. I'll stay in tune in case anybody's got questions. Jonathan, stay in tune. But we want you to hear the current recording because they got a special they're running on it. You ought to get it. I just updated Genesis. It will start including the E-mini and SPX as it comes out every day, first time at 12 o'clock Eastern time. That's big. And then I'll do a master class on how to use those 2 tickers I had added today. So take it away, Jonathan.
All right, Tom, I'm going to fire this up. Give me about 30 seconds and we'll listen back through it. Yeah, folks, the way this video is, I just have to kind of share a portion of the screen. I'm not able to go full screen for whatever reason. So, but I'll get this going here. Let me make sure my sound is going. And we should be good now. So let me mute myself and push play.
This up here, guys. Obviously, Tom has been doing this for a while now. You've been trading before I was born, so you've been doing it for a long, long time. Obviously, DTI was a huge. It was the first step I took in trading. I was 15 years old. I began trading under Tom, also known as T-Buzz, and he taught me the driving principles of the stock market. And Tom, just the feedback we've been getting in the chat is tremendous, and I know that you've got a really, really great following who's been listening and making money to you over the years. And hopefully today we can tee you guys up with an opportunity, Tom, that you've been trading each day right around noon. Now, when I first started trading, I was 15 years old, and under Tom's wing, I was able to double my $100,000 trading account. Now, it was simulated at the time because I wasn't 18 yet, but it was live trading with T-Buzz, taking from $100,000 to $250,000, I think in a matter of months. It was really, really fun. That's what got me hooked in on trading and in here with you, T-Buzz. And that officially kickstarted my investing career, and I've never looked back. Using some of those same principles he taught me, I was able to double my account in 2021. This was my Robinhood account back then, up over $33,000. And some of his principles are behind many of the successful trades from our opening playbook sessions. Anytime you hear me talk about price action or looking at key numbers, that came from Tom. He's the one that taught me that. Well, recently I got a call from Tom with some groundbreaking news. You see, using these same market driving principles, he's actually been able to build out what might be the most hands-free trading weapon that has ever existed. And you guys here are going to love this because we know that you love trading with us every day. And this is actually in our quiet hour here on Opening Playbook where you can get some more action. Now, it's a next generation smart algo that automatically sends you high-powered trade alerts on autopilot nearly every single day. That means while you're out doing things you love, away from the screens, or maybe just grabbing lunch, whenever you hear that ding in your pocket, you know another high conviction trade has been dialed up. For example, like on October 7th, you could have been grabbing lunch at your favorite restaurant, heard that ding in the pocket, pushed a few buttons to set the trade, and turned an 88% gain there overnight. Maybe Tuesday, you were out taking a hike, getting some fresh air, and that day you got the ding in the pocket, 91% gain overnight here. Wednesday, let's say you're playing tennis. That sounds fun. I wish I could get out in the middle of the day and go play tennis. That would be awesome. But you hear that ding in your pocket, 48% gain there. We can go over and over again. Thursday, 96%. Friday, 107% gain there over the weekend. Now, someone start with $1,000 in each after only 5 quick trades and maybe 15 minutes of your time. That could have been an extra $4,314 in trading profits over the week, all thanks to a brand new fully automated smart algo that we call Genesis. And I love this. You guys are going to see some research here today that's going to shock you, dissecting the different market hours of the day, and it's going to be really, really eye-opening. Now, to set the stage, Genesis isn't like your old-fashioned trading software indicator. This smart algo requires zero oversight. Each automatic alert includes everything you need to trade on the go. You get the stock ticker, entry price, profit target, stop loss, and even an individual chart, as you can see right there. Now, that means instead of sitting at your desk, wasting hours of your day, hunting for new trading setups, you can have a chance to target the next win while doing the things you love. Now, the Genesis algo is the culmination of over 40 years of market experience, T-Buzz's market experience, and it's all automated, all in one place. And it's unlocking a whole new way to trade the stock market. For example, like back on September 12th, at the time, the QQQ, dead in the water. Not much to write about there, but thanks to Genesis running 24/7 around the clock, you could have been out for a morning bicycle ride, or maybe you were sitting at the desk like me. Either way, you get the ding right there and read that the QQQ was on the verge of breaking out over the next hour with a 78% confidence rating based on the results from a 16-month study. And anybody who could have set the trade with a few clicks of their phone, maybe invested $2,000, when everything worked out, it hit the profit target there, and you could have pocketed an extra $1,723. Look at that. It said it was going to break out over the next hour. What happened? It broke out. Now, a quick $1,000 from one trade is great, but that's not even close to the best part. You see, unlike a lot of trading strategies out there, with Genesis, we don't need to wait days or weeks for the next entry signal either. Genesis is automatically generating these extremely accurate trade signals up to 5 times per day. And as you'll see in a moment, it's not just at any random time. It's very, very specific, making your job even easier. Now, that means this smart algo literally generates an abundance of trade opportunities each and every day. For example, like the 3 trades that would have hit on the same day, September 12th here, GLD 76%, 164% on SPY, 270% on IWM. Now, of course, it shouldn't go without saying that the markets don't come with guarantees. There's no magical button for instant wealth. Now, our internal audit that overlaid the options trade on the live trade signals showed remarkable results. But obviously, we can't promise anything in the future. So if you're looking to get rich overnight, do yourself a favor and log off now. But if you're looking for an undeniable edge, a new way to trade the markets unlike anything that we've ever seen before, then look no further. Because with Genesis, you'll always have a constant stream of alerts firing off in your back pocket to choose from, with tickers that are leading the pack, the tickers that are breaking out in the next few hours. So no more headaches staring at confusing chart patterns, no forcing low probability trades. Genesis does all the heavy lifting for you automatically. So if you want to be one of the first in the world to have a behind the scenes look at this incredible trading breakthrough, then stay tuned, because by the end of this broadcast, a handful of folks will be able to jump in on the next stock Genesis flag to break out today, literally within the next few hours, targeting what could be the next great move. So if you want in on the next opportunity, I want to hear from you right now. Post Genesis there in the chat, and I think our chat's closed, so I won't even be able to see it, but go ahead and do it for fun and let David Mound hear you. So let's go ahead and do it. Like I mentioned a moment ago, my name is Graham Lindman, and you might recognize me from my flagship Perfect Apple trade or heard about my famous wrap orders, which has helped folks see doubles in their trading. Now, as much as I'd love to take all of the credit and tell you that I'm a self-made 6-figure trader who figured it out all on my own, well, that would simply not be true. You see, my trading career dates all the way back to nearly 20 years ago, down in Mobile, Alabama, meeting one-on-one with one of the greatest traders of our lifetime. His name is Tom Busby. Now, Tom got started in the markets back in the 70s, and since then, he's been featured all over the place. His books are still one of the most valuable resources I know of for traders at all levels, whether you're just getting started or if you've been at it for a few decades like we have. There's a lot of insights in there. And much of Tom's success dates back to when he was handpicked, get this, handpicked by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange to receive his very own Globex terminal. This was a huge, huge deal. He was one of only 50 in the world to get this new technology. Now, that gave him insights to the markets that almost no one else had at the time. And it even helped him manage a firm so successfully that it was eventually bought out by the $1.3 trillion institution, Morgan Stanley. And now that he's walked away from Wall Street, he's been on a mission to show everyday folks how to tap into some of the same methods that have been kept away from the average Joe. And you guys can see some of the stories here. Of course, you saw some in the chat earlier. Bruce here, when I follow you, I make money. Tom is committed to helping you all the way through the trade. Bobby, program's amazing. Over $2,000 today. Emmanuel here, you're a great teacher. Made around $2,200 from one trade. Keep up the good work. So, Tom, take it away from here. Show us what Genesis is all about.
Well, thanks, Graham. And you know, one of the nice things about it, it takes a lot of work to get the right information. Embracing technology with Genesis allows us to do that. In a moment, I'll reveal how Genesis identified breakout stocks averaging 78% win rate during our 16-month audit. But first, it's important to remember there's no get-rich button when it comes to trading. So please, once you get your hands on this tool today, and everybody here ought to do that if you want to be a better trader, because it does a lot of the work for you. It leads you to the right answer. Be smart, don't over-leverage yourself. You see, Genesis is designed to radically change when you enter trades and how you look at the markets. Most people believe buying fear and selling greed is the key to becoming a successful trader. I'm sure you've heard Warren Buffett's famous saying, buy when others are fearful and sell when others are greedy. And while that's generally a great approach in theory, try it emotionally. The sad reality is it's practically impossible for the average trader to execute that strategy. When fear is at its peak, the urge to sell can be overwhelming, which almost always turns out to be the wrong decision. And when greed takes over, the temptation to keep riding the wave can lead to devastating losses. So if you ever made critical mistakes in your own trading because you felt the fear of missing out or the fear of losing money, it's not your fault. As a human, these emotions are hardwired in your brain as a basic survival instinct. What you need is a way to overcome these human handicaps using a more practical, data-driven approach. One that helps you get a clear picture when stocks on the verge of breaking out. For example, check out what happened back on July the 9th. At the time, the S&P 500 was stuck, going nowhere fast. Most traders would have had no clue the S&P was about to break out or crash to new lows. But if you knew on this candlestick right there, despite a high probability of breaking out the next day with a 78% success rate, of course you'd buy it. You'd have the confidence to do it. And you didn't have to be at the computer to catch that trade either. In fact, you could have been out playing a little golf. That ding also comes with this. You need that ding. Automatically receive the entry signal with the stop loss and profit target criteria to practically set it and forget it. Click a few buttons from your cell phone. It's that simple. And watch as the SPY hit a profit target the very next day. 73% gain on that one. But that's not even the best part, because the very next day, hey, I was out throwing the football, heard that ding, placed that quick trade, and was paid before I went to eat that night. 96% gain on the SPY.
Tom, that's incredible. I mean, $2,000 into each would have paid out $3,406 in profit. That's additional profit on top in only 24 hours. And that's on charts that gave almost no directional bias to the naked eye. But Genesis was able to turn it into not one, but two big winners. So, Tom, I need to know, how is Genesis able to predict these quick breakouts over and over again, sometimes multiple in a single day?
That's the question I'd be asking. It in all thanks to these market breakouts that happen during one specific hour of the day. 12 o'clock Eastern. Write that time down. Don't leave here without writing that time down. I call this time the Genesis hour. Now, most so-called experts will lead you to believe that the stock market's dead during the middle of the day, like watching paint dry. That couldn't be further from the truth. Look at that chart right there. It tells everything. Each hour of the day, the importance of that hour, the morning hours, midday, and the afternoon. And as you clearly see, there's hardly any money made during the opening or closing hours of the day. just noise to take your money. The real money's made during the Genesis hour. Get in that direction. Anyone can identify the stocks breaking out during the Genesis hour, can repeatedly target these quick moves. Hey, look at the Russell 2000 in the news lately. On June 17th, anyone watching the opening hours of the day might assume that small caps are ready to head lower. Of course, knowing what you know now, you wouldn't have been shocked by the morning drop. But then during the Genesis hour, everything changed. 4 out of 5 days, it changes. With Asia and Europe, markets closed, the noise gone, you're able to quickly see that the Russell 2000 was breaking out. Been alerted right away, automatically, comes right to you, and look what came next. 114% gain.
In one day.
Yeah. What did happen again on July 16th? In the morning, the markets drifted around, taking your money, not a ton of directional bias. But during the Genesis hour, Wall Street showed their cards and IWM started breaking out. What a massive opportunity, what they call the boring lunch hour. Genesis Algo would have automatically set the entry alert on IWM, tell you where to get in, how to get in, and when to get out. Anyone that taken that trade would have taken about 30 seconds, 125% gain. This should get your attention.
Yeah, that is awesome.
If that's not good enough for you, watch it happen one more time a few days later on July the 22nd. That morning noise, Genesis hour breakout, here we go. Automatic entry, built-in option selection, away we go. 280% gain on that one.
Wow, that's nice. Tom, that's really, really cool. It's cool how you were able to break down the morning trade session, the afternoon trade session, and then what happens right in the middle of the day, tipping off Wall Street's hand. Now, Tom, $1,000 in that last trade alone, just that single trade, would have paid out $2,800 in profit overnight. If you were more confident, started with $2,500, we're looking at $7,000 in pure profit. Now, that's enough cash that could cover a few months of the car payment, maybe cut down some credit card debt, or simply just throw it in the savings account, or maybe one of the great stocks that we have picks for you here on Opening Playbook, all from one 24-hour trade. Now, Tom, I have to admit, I think this data may come as a shock to most everyone here in the room. I mean, I've been told countless times that there's no money to be made during the day, especially during that lunch hour, because everyone is off to, grab lunch, or they're just taking a break. I was always told the middle of the day might be a quieter time, but the actual data here that you dug up for us tells us a completely different story. You guys can see there just how bullish that noon to 2 p.m. Eastern hours are. Very, very
I call it the noon balloon.
I love it. So why are stocks breaking out during the middle of the day, during this Genesis hour?
Well, Graham, there's something really important that happens during this hour. The Genesis hour is the first time in the day that stocks are able to move freely on their own, meaning all the other world markets are closed and we're focused on the U.S. Most people assume the trading day starts with 9:30 opening bell. That's not the case. The day starts much earlier the previous night with Asia, then Europe. By the time the U.S. markets open, it's totally cluttered and filled with noise, overnight orders, and all that during the morning action. It's nearly impossible to figure out what Wall Street's really doing. And it's nearly impossible to find out which stocks are really breaking out. However, with the 12 o'clock Eastern rolls around, something really special happens. It's the first hour of the day that the overseas markets are closed, and it's the first time that we see Wall Street trading freely on their own without the noise from international markets. That's why you'll see so many opportunities during the Genesis hour, because the worldwide competition has been eliminated and U.S. traders are running the show. And anyone who can spot stocks breaking out during the 12 o'clock Genesis hour can then jump in ahead of what could be your next major move. Hey, take a look at what happened on August 19th. At the time, the stock market was chopping around, going nowhere fast, not much directional bias, just market noise. But during the Genesis hour at 12, once the international markets were done for the day, S&P started breaking out. What happened next? That was a clear signal Wall Street was buying up stocks in the first real hour of that trading day, and the markets could go roaring higher. Anyone who placed a quick trade could front run the move, would have seen a 45% gain on that day. Then take a look at what happened next. August 21st, the S&P was dropping in the morning. That was just a bunch of noise. Right on time during the Genesis hour, Wall Street took complete control. Overseas competition was eliminated, and the markets were officially breaking out. Now, you could have been out to lunch with some of your best friends, heard that ding in the pocket, letting you know that S&P 500 was on the move, giving you specific criteria to take advantage of the opportunity at hand. Anyone who clicked a few buttons to follow along could have seen a 67% gain on the spot. Love to trade spot.
Tom,
Now,
this is amazing. I have to say, I've never heard anything like this before, but the proof is in the pudding. And it's really, really cool how you're able to turn what most people think is a boring part of the day into great winners like this, 45%, 67%, and many more. In fact, anyone following along with your Genesis algo could have seen not 2, not 3, but 6 opportunities that week. They're coming one after the other here. And all 6 of those actually would have won. So it would have been a pretty nice week going 6-0. Even a small $500 into each of them would have paid out $1,268 in profit for the week. Which
annual about 60,000, Grim.
That's exactly right. It's not a life-changing sum of cash, thinking $1,200, but that's definitely enough to move the needle, especially considering that the week before, look at this, guys, 5 for 5 with the Genesis algo. This thing is red hot. When Tom showed you those stats at the beginning of today's class, he really means that he is on fire with this way of trading. 4 of which of those would have paid over 100%. So $500 into each that week would have paid $2,789 in profit for the week. Over
100,000. You got a pay raise so that week.
That's right. That is a pay raise. And that reminds me of what some of your top students have said in the past. Here we have Hugh from Minnesota, made $3,656 in a single day. That's awesome. Jim P, total of $2,060. Great way to start the month. Please pass along my thanks to Tom. And then there's Ken. He says, I love the simplicity. It's a great tool to trade. Picked up an extra $3,200 today.
I love it every time I call in love letters I get from the students, but my best students like Hugh, Jim, and Ken know that with all traders, bound to be winners and losers, so never go all in on a single trade. Luckily, you don't have to. In a moment, I'll show you how you're able to leverage these quick moves with explosive, cheap options that only run about $100 a contract. That's right, $100 a contract. So you can always start small and grow it and scale it over time.
Wow, Tom, only $100. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone here can afford to get in on that. That's $1 per contract, folks. So, Tom, tell us, do we just wait for 12 p.m., that Genesis hour to roll around, and then just buy any stock going higher at noon?
Well, if you wanted to do that, I'm sure you'd get some solid results. But, of course, in order to get the optimum returns, I wouldn't buy any stock going higher during the Genesis hour. Instead, I want to know which tickers are the strongest in the markets they're in. And the fastest horse, the one leading the pack, the secretariat of the bunch, leading the breakout. Now, if you've been following what I've been doing for any amount of time, you may have heard me talk about my custom-built trading technology. It's Power Zone. And it's a revolutionary tool that my team built to isolate stocks breaking out during the week. The Power Zone takes into account multiple key numbers, including the high and low prices of the reference bars across 5 different 30-minute candlesticks and 1% average true range calculations in each individual stock. Now, the tool cost us north of $500,000 to get up and running, but it's been worth every penny, as you see from what we've been doing. Whenever a stock crosses into the Power Zone during the Genesis hour, that means it's leading the pack and breaking out. And you can place these quick trades, let Wall Street do the heavy lifting for us. Once I optimize the Power Zone for intraday charts, I'll be in live trading it with my own money on the line, manually tracking each entry, each exit, each profit result. And I have to say, they're even better than I thought they originally were going to be. Look at this model portfolio, 278% account growth during our 16-month audit. Now that stands pretty high on the ladder right there.
Mm-hmm. And the 78% win rate, that's really, really good.
Yep. As impressive as that is, we wasn't satisfied. We keep improving it. So we've taken it to the next level and automated the whole thing. That means no more time glued to a half dozen screens. No more back of the napkin math. Your life just got a whole lot easier. The signal normally comes right about 12:05 Eastern time each day. And we place a quick trade to take advantage of it, knowing that our results are about 78% accurate from that. Like with gold on September the 24th. Not much going on during the morning trading hours, just noise. Then right on time, right during the Genesis hour, gold was breaking out into the Power Zone, meaning there was a good chance that gold would carry on higher with 78% confidence rating based on our exhaustive study. Automatically, now folks, automatically alerted you right there around 12:05 with the entry, ticker, entry price, where you're wrong, and your profit target. Details are all included. Anyone who would placed a quick trade to follow along could have seen an 83% gain on that one.
Wow.
Now, the program has been fixed to specifically target the breakouts on the biggest and most liquid tickers out there, the SPY, the QQQ, IWM, GLD, USO. That way you can automatically target the fastest horse in the race. Once the smoke clears at noon, U.S. traders take over during that hour, Genesis hour. Then we simply piggyback on their move, riding next breakout. Like the trade that happened on September 11th, one of the best results we've seen so far. Again, the markets were chopping around just like the data shows, but then right on time during the Genesis hour, the QQQ was breaking out into the power zone. And sure enough, a massive rally came next. And if you had Genesis working for you automatically in your pocket, you would have heard that ding with the entry details, everything spelled out, and away you'd go. And after taking about 30 seconds to place that trade, going back to whatever you were doing. And 24 hours later, cashed out with a 266% gain on that ticker, QQQQ.
Tom,
Invested on that one would have paid out $2,663 and some odd cents profit overnight.
Yeah, overnight there. I mean, and if someone was more confident, maybe start with 5 times as much. We're talking about 13 grand overnight. Now, most folks I know of would love to make that type of money in a month. I would love to make that type of money in a month off of one trade, let alone in 24 hours. So tell me, is it really just that easy?
Depends on who you ask, Graham. Running countless strategy tests, working with market data, sophisticated programs to build this tool was not easy. But fast forward to today, getting a simple entry alert to your phone with all the information needed to take the trade. Riding a bike may be more difficult than following along with Genesis. I simply wait for Genesis to alert me that during that time of day, right around noon, and if I like the trade, click a few buttons and I'm all set. For example, look what happened last June. Monday, June the 10th, no action on the SPY in the morning as expected. Then during the Genesis hour, here it comes. Folks with the Genesis algo would immediately receive the alert with all the necessary information. 2 days later, cashed out with an 87% gain. And there's something really important to note with automatic entries, because we're able to get the signals in a split second. No delay without taking tons of time on our end. We can get an execution advantage. That's important. For example, same story, next day, June 11th. It's like watching paint dry in the morning. There's no money to be made before noon. Then Genesis happens, 103% gain on the SPY again. You know, all week long, folks could have made money on the Genesis algo. Wednesday, June 12th, maybe where you're out waiting for fish to bite, heard the ding, there's an 82% gain. Thursday, another ding while enjoying the summer air, 94% gain on the SPY. Friday, June 14th, no different, while mentally preparing for a nice relaxing weekend, heard the ding, here we go again, 160% gain on the SPY. Now, if someone started with $1,000 in each trade that week, they would have profited $5,275. Folks, now we got a real pay raise, over $200,000.
Yeah,
and with that's without compounding any of the gains.
That's right. I love it too, how it's always firing right around 12:05 p.m. each and every day. You're not having to look at the charts and run around and see if you miss a signal. You always know when it's coming. Speaking of which, we're just a couple minutes out from that now. So I'm really excited to see what's on tap for today. Hey, Tom, if someone started with 5K, we're looking at $26,000 in a single week. And the best part is that's without any heavy lifting on our part, because your automated trading algo does the heavy lifting for you. It's the Genesis algo.
That's right, Graham. In fact, I made the algorithm so good, it actually can replace me doing all this work. And with the astounding results we've seen, I'm ready to grant access to a few people here today to be part of it. You can stop searching for the latest, greatest. Trading indicator, trading software requires you to manually do all the legwork, keep second guessing yourself, getting messed up with your emotions. Cut out the guesswork and pay attention to Genesis. unlocking what could be your best trading year yet. So if you're ready to tap into the future of trading with an entirely new way, and I'm officially inviting you to take charge of your financial future with the power of Genesis. Genesis is the only smart algo I know that isolates stocks breaking out during the most powerful trading hour of the day. You won't hear anybody else talking about this. Automatically generating alerts with everything you need to trade on the go. Your entry price, your profit target, stop loss, everything you need, information, selecting the option right in the palm of your hand. Now, before I reveal the full list of breakout stocks that Genesis flagged today, let me walk you through how the membership's going to work. Every day, Genesis will scan through all the major indicators, tickers, biggest. When it flags one of these tickers breaking out during the Genesis hour, you'll immediately hear that ding in your pocket and the alert hits your cell phone or computer. Get the entry price, the ticker, where you're wrong, where you're right. All the details are included right there for you. Everything you need to target what could be your next great win. 51% gain on this one on the QQQ. 1, 2, 3. Think about the steps. 1, 2, 3. Access these alerts. Opt in to receive the automatic Genesis alerts via Telegram starting right now. That way there's no delay in getting your next entry. All the details on how to sign up can be found in your members portal that's hosted on the main website. No download required. And I'll walk you through that live during a masterclass I'm hosting. And we can expect an average of 2 to 5 alerts per day. You heard me, 2 to 5 per day.
That's a ton of fun right there, Tom. And now we normally wrap up these opening playbook sessions 11:30 or noon or so. So this comes in perfect time. And they'd log off the opening playbook and they're firing away trades from the Genesis algo, keeping the party rolling.
It's the best of the best, Graham, at this time of day. Now, look, if you want to trade the underlying stock with the Genesis alerts rise, that's okay. But if you want to target some of these big outside returns, like I showed you today, you got to use options. Now, if you're new to options, that's okay. I will show you and teach you what you need to know. You can use the most basic form of options available, which is the call or put options. Applying them to the Genesis trades is no harder than shooting a layup. And for those who want to dig a little deeper into options, other unique ways to leverage these Genesis alerts to target great terms, go to the Option Bootcamp 101. It teaches you what you need. Income plus. Now, I even teach you my personal method for selection high-powered weekly options that are low price, but have shown the power to pay massive returns. That way, any new members who join today are equipped to hit the ground running right out of the gate. For example, like the Genesis trade on October 11th. Anyone who got in on that one, 92 cents for $92 per contract, 107% gain. 84 cents, $84 per contract, 266% gain.
And Tom, that is dirt cheap. I love it. We've got options traders in the room packing the house each and every day. We've got sophisticated options traders too. They're going to eat this up. Someone put $2,500 into each of those. That would have been enough to pull $9,325 in cash. That's a good chunk of change. But your VIP coaching programs here at DTI already run north of $10,000 per year.
And I'm booked solid, folks. Let me tell you, this is something you want to have to trade with.
Oh, you definitely do. And again, $10,000 is not out of the equation to join. I think my parents paid probably pretty close to that to get me working with you when I was still in high school. So I think that the price tag would be more than fair considering that there's nothing else quite like Genesis out there. So what's it going to be?
Well, not going to be 10,000. We set up an amazing deal because I'm here with Graham right now. Before we open these doors, get ready. Here's what gets me really excited about it. 83% gain, 150% gain, 164 in just a couple of days. This is what you want to have every day to look at. I reworked algo to alert us when certain tickers are breaking down during the day, and you can make money when it goes down. And Wall Street is aggressively selling. Not only do these Genesis downside trades work, there's a clear-cut path to target some big outside moves with those. Entry, profit target, stop loss, everything you need to take advantage of. But let me be very clear. These downside trades have the same profit potential as upside ones. And I'm not just saying that. Some of the biggest opportunities from the study have been downside moves. For example, consider the 3-day market crash we saw back in July. Each day, the Genesis algo picked up a short opportunity during that span and each one would have been a home run trade. That means over the fence, folks, over the fence. 168%, 283%, 324%.
Tom, those were all back-to-back, trading to the downside. $2,000 into that last one alone. If you missed the first two and only caught the last one, which you're never going to miss them. They're always at 12, so you know when to check. But $8,480 overnight, and that was just one of the 3 downside trades that hit that week. So with this Genesis downside trade included as a bonus, it's no surprise that the price for this exclusive membership, guys, $4,295 per year. And that's what you'd see on the main website as well. $4,200 for 1 year of access.
But if you take action here today, here's a couple surprises I have up my sleeve, and they're going to shock you. Bonus number 1. We're going to take, right here in this webinar, give you $500 off the sticker price. But not just that. Like I mentioned a minute ago, just shown the power to pay out up to 5 times per day. So if you take action right now, we're going to give you that $500 discount times 5.
I love it.
That means $2,500 off. Now take the price from $42.95 down to $17.95 for total access.
Tom, that means at the current run rate and the types of opportunities you've shown us, if everything goes as planned, the entire membership could be paid off in less than a week. We saw many weeks here today from these examples where those string of trades paid over $2,000 with no compounding and starting with like $500. So after that, everything's just icing on the cake. Like some of your students have seen. Prim said, I subscribed last Friday, already recovered my capital plus $1,000 extra. That's icing on the cake. Whitney says, made my cost of subscription plus $500 in the very first week. Grateful to have found you.
You know, I'd love to see these new people that join us today, Graham, have the whole membership get covered early. I call it a scholarship. And that's why I'm going to give them bonus number 2. Half off because we're live for action takers today. We're going to do something to make this an absolute no-brainer. For new members of Genesis today, I'm slashing the already discounted, heavily discounted price another half. Oh, give me a break. $897 for a year? This special $897 offer is only guaranteed for the first 250 people. Take action now. Take it. Take it before they go. If at any point the customer service team feels we got to cut it off, we'll cut it off.
Yeah, and folks, trust me, you do not want to miss out on this. Be ready to act fast because, guys, this is an insane deal. $897 for access. That is just, Tom, you've done something special here. Tom, last time we did spots, we sold out in less than 2 hours. And now, you know, given that we had up over 500 people here today, the limited spots, the new trade coming here in about 30 minutes, these are going to fly off the shelf. So, guys, we're going to post that link here in the chat for you to join. If you click that link in the chat, you are going to get the live webinar discount included. That's going to cut the price from $17.95, which was that discounted rate Tom was proposing earlier, and he's slashing in half for the opening playbook here. Guys, or you can give us a call, 904-706-3532. You want to get Genesis in your toolbox. Again, it's really perfect because we'll do some trading here in the morning on opening playbook, log off around 11:30 or noon, and then you're right to Genesis, keeping the party rolling. So click that link in the chat to get started. If you want to get in for that just incredible deal, Tom, that you put together here today. I thought it was going to be closer to $2,500 for this.
I did too, Graham. I saw that price. I got shocked.
It's a really, really, I mean, guys, it's a no-brainer. And then get this, guys. Once you take one of the best deal memberships, don't close the next page. You guys know we like to do this. On that next page, you can get lifetime access to Genesis. That means no renewal fees, no annual subscription, nothing like that. One-time payment, it's yours to keep. Plus, get this, the lifetime members will also get free access to the Genesis Algo Indicator.
Gotta have it. Gotta have that indicator.
Now, up until now, Tom is only offering the Genesis entry signals on those 5 most popular tickers. Very, very liquid tickers that give us a clear picture of where Wall Street is headed that day. However, Tom and his team just published an indicator that unlocks these Genesis signals on every single ticker in the market. Now, starting today, you can get instant access to it for free. I mean, you can find even more of these epic setups on even more stocks all on your own time. And you know the time, right around noon each and every day during that Genesis hour when the overseas markets are closed. We get a clear picture of what Wall Street is doing, and you get to ride their coattails. So make sure you upgrade your account to lifetime, especially with this deal today. You're going to save a ton of money. But remember, this is a limited offer at this price. It's an opening playbook special. I would not be shocked to see us sell out very, very fast. Again, last time we did a limited deal, sold out in 2 hours. So that would be like selling out before 2 p.m. today. So after that, once we hit that number, Tom's going to get with this team. They're going to figure out what they're going to set the price at, but it's going up from there. So don't miss out. You guys know spots go quick here.
Hey, I can't wait to get you in here. You're going to love it. In fact, get used to checking that clock at 12:05. And as a welcoming present, inside your members portal, you're going to see another bonus value at $995 you can access immediately for free. This special cheat sheet we put together to help you have a broader picture. I'll give you insight on all the stocks that Genesis scans in real time. If you want to claim that special bonus, then you have to sign up now. And for gold members, you know who you are. Call in as well, because I've instructed our team to give you a special bonus so good you'll be jumping out of your seat. Go to dtitrader.com/Genesis or call that number 904-706-3532.
And guys, new Genesis entries are going to be waiting for you here in about 30 minutes. So don't delay. If you're interested in this, click that link in the chat, get it locked in, get in that private Telegram and get rolling. Now, Tom, I know that you've been working hard at this for a while, and I've been very impressed with the results that you've seen. I actually took a trade from Genesis, T-Buzz. I don't know if I told you this. This was my brokerage screenshot. I made 315% on the QQQ trade. This is just basic call options in a single day. So even $500 into that one would have paid $1,575 in profit. That's enough to cover the whole membership in one trade and still have about $700 left over. And knowing you and the work you've done helping so many people over the years, I'm really not surprised. You guys have heard some of these stories, but let's keep on rolling here. Dickens, $1,930 in profit in less than 4 days. My top money-making strategy. Nancy says, last Friday, made $1,606 net gain. Never had so much fun in my live trading. And that's the cool thing about here. Genesis is a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun in these live trade rooms. Genesis, like I said, keeps that party rolling where you're not going to have to wait weeks for a new entry or weeks hold time, guys. These are very, very precise and quick trades. Enter at right around 12 p.m. each day, and you have the opportunity to hit your profit target that very day. Denise says just closed with a $400 profit, up $2,000 since they started. Denise has a small account to trade, so that's a big, big deal to her. IDP, 100% success rate on the 4 trades, almost a 100% return in a single week. And I can go on and on, guys. Just look at all of these stories. George has been trading for 28 years, and he says Tom is one of the best traders I have ever met in my life, but he's also a heck of a guy. Very humble and down to earth, which is rare for a trader. DB Cooper says, I'm up $12,000 on AMD in 3 trades. Sylvian, Tom, I joined last week. Thanks for the COP trade. Closed that with $2,249 in profit, subscription paid. KP Nadu said, thanks for this service, Tom. I've made my subscription back in the first week. Robert, over $2,000 today. Everyone should be a part of it. And obviously, we have so many stories like that. So if you're watching right now, go ahead and join the club. Secure your Genesis membership at the best deal before time runs out, and then upgrade to lifetime. That's a no-brainer to do that now while you have that half-off discount rolling. You're just going to save yourself about $900 to $1,000 by doing that today. So go to dtitrader.com/Genesis. Or give us a call, 904-706-3532 to get started.
If there's one thing I want you to remember from class today, it's this. As you can clearly see, a lot of money's lost during those opening hour and closing hour, just a lot of noise. The real money's made during the Genesis hour. We have the algo that will give you and tee it up for you. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Look at the Russell 2000 small cap index. There it is. Open hours, nothing. Knowing what you know now, you knew to look at your watch during Genesis and everything changed. And there it is. When Asia and Europe markets are closed, the noise gone, we were able to quickly see the Russell 2000 was breaking out. Alerted right away, automatically, it takes you right to the next step, where to enter, where to exit, and where you're wrong. 114% gain on that one.
And one single day. Now, that is fun.
Watch it happen again on July the 16th. In the morning, the market's drifted slightly higher, not a ton of directional bias to base the trade on. IWM started breaking out right at noon. Once during those boring lunch hours, as Wall Street tells you, you're going to be doing something different, aren't you? Genesis Algo would automatically send you the entry alert on IWM, place the trade, 30 seconds to place it, 125% gain, off you go. And that is not enticing enough. Watch it happen one more time a few days later, July the 22nd, morning noise, Genesis hour breakout. Here we go. Automatic entry with built-in option selection, profit target, and stop loss. 280% gain.
That is awesome, guys. Click that link in the chat to get started, Tom. I love what you've done here. I love getting a taste of it myself with over 300% return on my first trade there. Now, guys, if you want to wait around, I'm sure we'll have this available at that discounted, the 5 times discounted price at $1,795, $1,795. But if you want to be smart and save yourself about $900, just click that link in the chat right now to lock in the opening playbook, half off live webinar discount, guys. It's a limited time offer. You know that these spots tend to go quick. And Tom, this really should not be running for less than $1,500 a year at the rock bottom pricing. So the fact that you've brought it to us today at $897 for a full year makes it a no-brainer. Then add the lifetime in on top of that. I mean, you guys are saving thousands of dollars here. Now, if you'd like to, just give us a call at 904-706-3532. They can walk you through the membership and everything you're entitled to. Now, Tom, like I mentioned earlier, this notion that stocks are actually most active and bullish during the 12 p.m. hour is so backwards from what most people were taught. And when you first told me about it, I thought you were joking because I had just assumed everyone goes to lunch, Wall Street gets quiet, but really it's just the opposite. And I did my own research too, and I came to the same conclusion. Look at this report over the last 10 years. You guys know I love data. You know I love pulling numbers. Give this a look. What you're looking at is the average movement of the S&P 500 during each hour of the day. So look up here. Here's your legend key, 9:30 to 11 a.m. That's that blue line. 11 to 12, that's that red line. They net out to basically nothing. But check this out. Okay, there you go. Market open, 11 a.m., so on and so forth. Check this out. What's the yellow line? This is the one making all the money, right? Let's find it here on our key. It's that Genesis hour, 12 to 1. And it's not even close. It's a landslide. Again, I pulled my own data here, Tom, just to see for myself if this is really a very legitimate phenomenon. You guys can see it firsthand here. It's not even close. The Genesis hour is where the money's at, so you don't want to miss out on it. And guys, the next window opens up here in what? 21 minutes. Oh, now 20 minutes. So we are just.
Graham, you leave that emotional heartbreak behind you. Look at that yellow line you're talking about. It's like selling after you get that particular time of entry. It's unbelievable how good this is.
That's really, really cool. We're always looking for little, caveats in the market and little phenomenons that we can tap into and exploit. This is one that really blows my mind here because you have all these other hours kind of down here, kind of in the middle. There's some good ones, some bad ones. This one is just sticking out like a sore thumb. It's the money-making hour. So don't miss out on the newest entries, guys. Click that link in the chat to get started or give us a call. Remember, today we've got that special $897 discount, which really makes it so easy for everyone to get started. There's no reason you shouldn't get rolling with the Genesis algo today. Now, Mr. Mound, I know we went for a while here and I didn't get to see all the questions in the chat. If you don't mind jumping in here, getting with Tom here to answer a few of those questions to take it home. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the Genesis Telegram and go look for that first trade.
Absolutely. Great job, guys. Tom, this is awesome. And I remember when Tom first showed me the Genesis algo, and I was just super impressed. And it's really cool stuff. So once we get into this stuff, we wind up using private messages in the chat, so you won't see any of the questions there, Tom, but I'll read them to you. So one question is roughly, how much does it cost to get into some of these trades? And I know it varies quite a bit. If you can kind of give people a range.
Yeah, typically I will go with about around $1, which is, $100 per option. I will go up maybe to $3 if it's depending on the movement we've had and how we get there. But the nice thing about it, the market waits on no one. you know the action time, you know what you're looking for, and it's sort of a process that I put together that allows you to automatically have that process without 30 or 40 years experience. You know to pick, to make it here, there was a lot of ones that got thrown out to get to these key tickers.
Absolutely. And I think one of the cool things, and actually somebody mentioned this in the chat, didn't have a chance to I didn't want to interrupt you to read it or whatever, but somebody said Tom doesn't just make you money with his good trades, but one of the best things he does is keeps you out of the bad ones. And I think that's, that speaks miles toward kind of the, what you have as far as discipline and discretion and stuff like that, and what your experience brings to the table as far as, not just taking a trade to take a trade.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can screw up a good trade,
right?
But I find most of the ways to do that is either a click error or something stupid or emotions getting in the way. With this process, and you focus on this time frame and you say, hey, I'm going to make those trades that set up that I'm comfortable with, you will see a big improvement in what you've done in the past if you do that one step. One step, the time, it's time to go, and it tells you this ticker's ready.
Now, do they have to do this right at like 12:01?
It usually lasts, there's three signals that come off, 12:05 is the first one, then there's another one at 12:35 and the final one at 1.
So how do you recommend, you recommend that they start watching it at 12:05 and then, keep looking at it and take those individual signals, or wait till they have all three? How do they go about actually implementing?
No, I think all of them stand on their own. I'm just saying that I would look at it and then I would plug it in and say, hey, this is one I'm taking. Okay. And it's not hard to figure it out after a while, because you're going to find out, so a lot of these trades, the SPY was hot for 3 days in a row, both going up and going down. And, these tickers tend to pay big once they start paying. A lot of times they just circle around their noise area, but this eliminates that for you because it's going to tee it up for you. And I use that phrase like on a golf course, right?
It definitely helps you focus in on everything amongst all the noise, right? It
right.
Just like zeroes in, targets in on that. And I know you're going to be yelling at somebody later today about this $8.97 price that we put here. Because I'm
sitting here going, $8.97?
I know that's a ridiculously low price for this.
Yeah, I thought you got to give me a break.
I know how much went into.
I thought is that for 3 months, but they're giving a year there, $8.97 for a year.
Yeah,
goodness.
Yeah. And then as we mentioned before, folks, you have then the opportunity on the second page to up that to a VIP lifetime subscription where you don't have to even worry about renewing it after a year, and that's at a greatly discounted price also. So just a great opportunity to get in on this and see what it's all about. Now, of course, some of the questions that we've answered so far are also covered in much more depth in the training that's available in the members area that Tom has recorded for you. So you don't have to worry about, kind of grasping all of this right here and now from the little bit that we've kind of touched on during the presentation.
But they ought to get in now where they can go see the first Genesis. It takes you about 5 minutes to get set up. And then you can watch it develop today in 15 minutes from 12 to 1.
Yeah.
And then, I'm holding a live webinar at 1. They can come and attend and ask me about it.
Perfect. So if you get in now on it, you'll be on the list to get the link for the live session at 1:00 as well. So, great timing. Just happens to be with opening playbook that we run right up until when Genesis takes effect. And that's something you can count on every day too, right? As soon as opening playbook's over, you can go right over to Genesis and start looking at it because the timing will be that way on a daily basis. So it's a good marriage here of opening playbook and Genesis. Well, those are all the questions that we had in the chat. I'll take a quick look and see if I missed anything else. Let's see. There's a question here. The masterclass mentions dollar strikes, but the cheat sheet mentions $3 strikes. Which way should they be going on that?
Like I said, $1 to $3 works. And again, it's your choice, but I like the $3 personally. Okay.
Perfect. All right. Larry asked about the VIP price. So it's in the chat and in the announcements, Larry. It's an additional on top of the $897 for the 1 year. It's an additional $1,400 or $1,397 for the VIP upgrade. So all in, it's just under $2,300 for VIP, which is half the price roughly of a year normally. You can see on the screen $4,300 normally for a year, and you're going to get in all in on VIP for $2,294. So tremendous discount on both the 1 year and the VIP today. Let's see. I think those are all the questions that we have. And if anybody else has anything else, this is the time to throw it out here in the chat while Tom's still with us. I want to thank you for joining us on Opening Playbook and spending so much time with us today, Tom.
Yeah, and like I said, since it's this time of day, I moved my normal train and trade, which is 11 to 1, so you can come join us there if you want to, and
Perfect.
listen to what we're going to do. We sort of say, hey, let me pay you to show up. So, in other words, I had to pay people. Graham and them are so good, but I pay people every day with good trades, and so yesterday we had a great one in the. Went long, and I guess it paid off because if you look at the market right now, no guess about it. So come.
Oh, yeah, open green, stayed green, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, but thank you, and thank everybody for helping present Genesis, and I think you're getting a heck of a deal here at $897. In the market, will not wait on you. And the next time you have a trade out there and you lose money, I want you to think, man, maybe I should have gotten Genesis. Put the curse of Genesis on you, right? There you go.
All right, we're going to do a new promo called "Don't Get Hit by the Curse of Genesis."
That's right. All right, thanks, Dave.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, folks, that is all we have for you. We will be closing this out in just a minute. Of course, if you get in, you'll want to start looking at Genesis right away because it's going to start throwing signals at you in a few minutes. And look out for that message from Tom's crew about the 1 p.m. Eastern. So that's about 70 minutes from now. He's doing a live session as well. Joanne, yes, once you purchase, it will be in OneClick, in the same OneClick platform that Graham and Nathan use. So once you purchase, you don't even have to wait for a welcome email. If you get in on this, you could wait 2 minutes, 3 minutes, log into OneClick, refresh it maybe if you're already in there, and you should be able to search for Genesis in the tiles at the top for your different products that you own, or you might just see it there. And you should have access to it within minutes of purchase. So, so if you're brand new, you should get an email. It might take a few extra minutes to get the welcome email, but I can tell you, I'll post it in the general chat so everybody has it. So access to Genesis after purchase, let me talk weirdly while I'm typing, is going to be at https://app.oneclicktrading.com. All right, so I just put it in the general chat, Joanne, and for everybody else, that's our membership platform. So if you're brand new and have not ever accessed any of our products, then that you should get a welcome email. It might take a few minutes, I'd say like up to 15 if the system's really busy with new members and creating memberships. It could take up to 15 minutes. It usually only takes like 3 or 5. But what you can do is once you purchase, you can go to that link that I just put in there. You can click Forgot Password, and it'll send you an email right away to reset your password and get you in right away. So if you don't want to wait for the welcome email and you want to get in like ASAP, go to that link that I just posted there. Now, of course, like your purchase has to have gone through and created your membership to some degree, even if that welcome email hasn't gone out, like it still needs to do its process on the back end for you to get access. Obviously, everybody can't just go to the site and click Forgot Password and get in. So it has to have created your membership. So it may not work instantly after purchase, but if you kind of want to front run the welcome email, you can try that process. The hood options from this morning. J-Bo, you're looking for what the hood trade was this morning. I can post that for you. Boop, boop, boop in the chat. So if you're looking for the hood trades from this morning, let me post that in the general chat. There were two. One was more aggressive, one was more conservative.
All right, folks, that was a recording from earlier when Tom was on with Nate and Graham this morning. But get the Genesis algo today. You go to detachable.com/Genesis. You can give us a call at 904-706-3532. And Tom will be live once again tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the midweek market update. We'll see you then.